What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. So over the past couple of years I got to try a lot of robot vacuums. I basically get to try the latest and greatest robot vacuums out there. Now about 6 months ago I got this robot vacuum. This right here, it's called the eufy S1 Pro. When I got this vacuum I also made a video for it, and for those of you that haven't seen that video I will leave a link to that in the video's description or the top right corner. Basically everything I said in that video still applies even today. But because I did get to try a lot of robot vacuums, some of them that are kind of similar to this one as well, I figured I'll make a 6 months after review so I can talk to you about my experience with this robot vacuum over the past 6 months. Because even though I did get to try many robot vacuums up until now, well, this one is still my favorite robot vacuum out there. It has the best washing out of all the other robot vacuums that I've tried. It has the best navigation out of all the robot vacuums that I've tried. So this is by far my favorite robot vacuum that I got to try up until now. This machine was also one of the first units that were sent out back in the day when the S1 Pro crowdfunding period happened. So that's why the logo that you're seeing on this machine is different than the logo that you would see if you'd be to buy this machine today. So you're probably wondering, why is this robot vacuum so special? Well, that has a lot to do with the mopping system that we get on this robot vacuum. So this was the world's first robot vacuum that implemented this new innovative mopping system. So with this mopping system, the vacuum doesn't spread the mess throughout your house. When you have a typical vacuum that has those two mops that are spinning, well, those mops don't actually get cleaned as they spin, so they kind of spread the dirt throughout your house. Of course, it's better than nothing, but when you have something like this, well, it's a big difference because the mop actually gets cleaned inside the robot vacuum as this cleans your floor. So every time the mop here spins, the mop gets cleaned. And look at the size of this mop. This vacuum also finishes faster than most other robot vacuums available on the market. Another thing I've noticed is the fact that this robot vacuum doesn't have to go back to the docking station or the all-in-one station to wash the mop as often as your typical robot vacuum. And of course that has a lot to do with this mopping system that we have and the fact that the mop inside here gets washed constantly. So this doesn't really need to go back to that docking station to wash this like all the other robot vacuums, because this obviously gets cleaned as it spins. So every so often this will go back to that station, it will empty the dirty water from inside, but definitely not as often as your typical robot vacuum. So in the center here we have our main suction hole. We also have two brushes that kind of push everything towards that main suction hole. This robot vacuum has a suction power of 8000 PA, so it doesn't really matter what's on the floor, it will be able to suck everything right in. And you don't even have to clean the dustbin inside this. So the dustbin inside this is located right here at the top. Let me just remove this. So this gets cleaned inside the all-in-one station. So basically every so often it will go back and it will empty itself out. The dust bag is under the clean water tank. You basically access it that way. And in my case, I have to change that about 2.5, 3 months. It really depends what season we are in, because obviously in the summer when the windows are open, there is more dust. But now in the winter when the windows are closed, it's not gonna be as dirty on the floor. So there is a dust bag in there. Of course, we also get a cleaning solution that you can install. Now, I only got that cleaning solution about 2 months ago, if I remember right. And you do notice a bit of a difference when this washes the floor. But realistically, if you don't want to use any cleaning solution, you can use this without a cleaning solution. I did use mine about 4 months without a cleaning solution, and that's just something recent. Now that water that you see, so we have the clean water tank in the all-in-one station, that's also ozonated water. So they basically use ozone water to kill any bacteria, any mold, and the effect on that is the fact that the mop here doesn't smell bad, doesn't get bacteria on it and all that. Once the vacuum is actually done, a cleaning cycle, this will also get dried with hot water. That's also important because you definitely don't want a moldy mop going around your house. So this vacuum also has a LiDAR navigation system, and I believe they call this a 3D matrix eye. So this is basically obstacle avoidance. I have to say that this robot vacuum has never got stuck on anything in the house here. It doesn't matter if I leave cables, it doesn't matter what I leave on the floor, nothing. So it avoids all the obstacles. That's another reason why I keep using this vacuum, because I don't have to go and clean the house before this goes on a cleaning cycle. So anything you leave on the floor, it will avoid it. It will not get stuck on anything. So 6 months of use and it hasn't got stuck once on anything, on a carpet, on anything. Talking about carpets. So this mop here also lifts as this goes to a carpet. So let's say that you have a combination of tiled floors and carpets. It will mop the tiled floors, so the hard floors, and whenever this reaches the carpets, of course the mop will lift so it doesn't actually touch your carpets, and obviously it doesn't get your carpets wet. Another thing I got to appreciate about the eufy S1 Pro is how much smaller the base station is in comparison to all the other robot vacuums out there. The station is taller, so whenever you're picking up those water tanks, the clean water tank or the dirty water tank, you don't actually have to like bend over because it's nice and tall. And I love the fact that it's nice and skinny, so it doesn't take a lot of space and it kind of fits in nicely in whatever space you have it. So that's another thing that I got to appreciate mostly when you get to try these robot vacuums that have these massive docking stations that are like 3 times bigger than the actual robot vacuum. So small things that you appreciate over time that you don't exactly realize at first. So realistically, after trying many robot vacuums, there is no other robot vacuum like this one. There is no other robot vacuum that does floor washing as good as this one. It doesn't matter if you spill something on the floor, because as the mop goes over whatever you spilled on the floor, let's say coffee, milk or whatever, all that gets washed in inside the robot vacuum. So that doesn't actually get spread throughout your floor. When you have those other robot vacuums that have the 2 spinning mops, and let's say that you spilled some milk, sure, they may clean it, but realistically they're spreading it around because that dirt stays on those mops. Well, because of the design that we have on this, that dirt doesn't actually stay on the mop, so this is not gonna be spread throughout the kitchen or wherever you have that spill. So that is the biggest difference when you have this kind of robot vacuum and the ones that have those normal spinning mop brushes. So the mopping system on this one is unmatched up until this point by any other brand. So when you combine that obstacle avoidance with a good suction power, the amazing mopping that you get from this, there is really no other robot vacuum that's anywhere as good and as efficient as this one. So yeah, after using this for 6 months, still the best robot vacuum that I got to try up until now. As always, there will be some links in the video's description so you can check this out. Not to mention that right now the eufy S1 Pro is $500 off, which is the biggest discount ever for this product. This is also a limited time offer, so definitely check out the links in the video's description so you can add this to your cart. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll talk to you in the next one.